Hey everyone, welcome back to the Encourage to Try with Me a podcast. And we are going to talk about how you can use negative feelings as fuel to make positive decisions for growth. So without further ado, let's dive in. So in life, we go through certain negative feelings or painful experiences, such as feeling betrayed by a friend who we thought was a friend, or feeling belittled by the people whom we expect support from, or experience being ignored by the people who we seek connections from, being judged by the people whom we consider as a safe circle or a safe space for us. So these things can happen and does happen in life, as human beings are expected to have emotions and certain feelings towards those moments. But at the end of the day, it's how we choose to use those feelings that determines our life. And what do I mean by that? All of those things that I've described to you were the exact moments where I felt a lot of pain and I felt a lot of negative feelings towards. And I realized how I reacted towards them when I was younger. Whenever I feel pain or negative feelings, I tend to react to them rather than reflect. For example, whenever I feel angry, I lash out, have a bad day, I tend to get even. That is how I used to deal with it before in a not so productive way. So, the second way in dealing with negative emotions is you suppress it. Try your best to ignore it and you just live life as if nothing happened. And as you continue on living life, suppressing a lot of negative feelings, not expressing them, or not even acknowledging them, or even understanding what you're feeling, you tend to struggle with it in the long run. And lastly, the third way to deal with negative emotions or painful experiences is you use it as fuel or a reason to improve yourself. And thankfully, that is what we're going to talk about in this podcast episode, how you're able to use those negative emotions as fuel to make your life better. And with that said, I also realized that life is all about energy, whether it be a positive energy or a negative energy. At the end of the day, the question that you should have to answer is, what energy do I want my life to have? Is it a positive energy life or a negative energy life? Do I want my life to be filled with bitterness, anger, burden, all of the heaviness that negativity brings? Or I want it to be filled with joy, with happiness, with fulfillment, with purpose, and all of these things that a positive life has. With all of these things, how I deal with negative feelings or when I'm in pain is I always ask these three questions. So the first one is, why am I feeling this way? This is the first step, trying to understand that negative emotion or that painful emotion as I go through it. Once I'm able to acknowledge it and understand it, the second question that I ask myself is, can I solve this feeling by doing something? If I'm able to solve it, I go to the third question. But if not, I tend to just sit with it because there are things that you just can't solve right away or just can't understand or give an answer right away. Or sometimes you don't have an answer at all and just live with it. Live with a certain feeling that you just can't do anything about. The third and last question that I ask myself is, what should I do to solve this feeling? So, for example, whenever I feel frustrated, angry, filled with anxiety, overwhelmed, I tend to stop what I'm doing and just go work out. And how I do that is I lift weights. I use my workout session as a way for me to relieve myself of those negative emotions, of those heavy emotions that I'm experiencing. And you get that dopamine after a workout. Sometimes I don't feel like working out, but after, I always feel that I'm grateful and made a positive decision that I worked out. So sometimes you just need to move your body and work out and lift weights. And sometimes if you just need to write it in your notebook, that can also work. Or sometimes you can use your phone recorder and just record yourself and just talk to yourself. And, after that, you just try to listen back whatever it is that you were saying and expressing. And sometimes it helps. Sometimes you just need to talk with yourself, pray about it, You can talk to God. And in terms of my video editing journey, I noticed that I am encountering a lot of negative feelings in terms of rejections, feeling ignored and belittled with what I can offer. Like in my head, I know that I can offer a lot of value. I can offer a lot of things on the table with my skill as a video editor. Then again, I take a pause and reflect on what can I do to improve this situation so that I could lessen it or eventually remove this outcome. What am I missing? So that's the question that I ask myself whenever I catch myself. I realize what I lack doing is communicating or the ability to position myself as an editor that they would want to hire. So in that aspect or in that frame, I'm able to take that and now I know what to work on. How can I work on it? What are the things that I should do step by step in order for me to improve on that in terms of communicating? So in that aspect, I take accountability for my lack of skill and use that negative feeling to ask better questions in terms of what I'm lacking and what I need to improve on and then act on it. So that's just one of the things that I've been using negative feelings to make positive decisions for growth. And in terms of relationships, I do have experiences where I felt people that I want to connect with or build a relationship with are not reciprocated. Back then, I used to feel bitter, angry, and frustrated with those people, but I soon realized that as time goes on, it's not all about me. I'm not entitled to their time. I'm not entitled to them choosing me because at the end of the day, whenever you want to build a relationship with someone, whether it be platonic or romantic or just close relationships, it's the other person's choice. A relationship is built by two people who chooses to invest in that relationship. And I just choose to look at it as framing. I reframe this as okay, the positive side is that I have more time to invest on myself. Number two is what are the things that I should improve in myself so that whenever I get to meet new people, I'm able to give value. So it's all about knowing the questions that you should ask yourself during those moments and acting on them. What am I feeling and why am I feeling this way? Once you're able to acknowledge it and understand it. Second is, can I solve this feeling by doing something? And if not, just sit with it. It's okay to feel something without having any answers to it because most of the things in life, you don't have any answers to it, but you still make sense of life anyway. And lastly, number three is that what can I do with this feeling? Like you can read books to make yourself better, listen to audiobooks, listen to podcasts to learn something new and apply it. Or if you need an activity to express yourself, you can choose to write down in your journal, in your notebook, or record yourself, talk to yourself, pray, or talk to someone else, talk to a friend, express through physical means such as working out, lifting weights, going for a run, getting that dopamine. It's just a matter of where you put your energy on and what type of energy you invest in, whether it be in a positive energy or negative energy. And just remember that at the end of the day, you get to choose how you would respond with what life throws at you. Because whether life throws at you a lot of negative things, it's your choice to make it positive. It's your choice to make all those feelings of being ignored, being belittled, feeling betrayed, sad, lonely, angry, frustrated, overwhelmed, stressed. You can use those things to fuel yourself. How can I make myself better? How can I use all of these things so that I can make my life better and give value to other people? Just like what I'm doing in this podcast. Whatever it is that I've learned, mostly painful ones, the practices that I did to make them better, and hopefully would reach someone who will gain so much value from this. So again, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling all of the negative feelings, you can ask yourself these three questions. Number one is, what am I feeling? Or why am I feeling this way? It's a way for you to understand and acknowledge what you're feeling. And number two, can I solve this feeling by doing something? And if I can't, I'll just sit with it. Thirdly, if I can do something to fix this feeling, then what can I do? That's it for the episode. I hope to see you on the next episode. Bye.